Good morning and welcome to Polly's podcast. So today I actually have a question, a real question. So I'm very excited to address this question. Thank you. How long does it take before I start to see actual results? All right, so this is a complicated question because every single human being is different. Men and women are different. 20-year-olds compared to 40-year-olds are different. We're all individually different. It's a beautiful and magical thing. So I'm going to speak to myself. I'm not even going to speak to other people that I know that have told me about their experiences. Okay. Your body, or my body, pardon me, notice the results within the first 24 hours. I may not have recognized those changes within those 24 hours, but my body sure did, because the body is very sensitive to its environment, to its diet, to exercise, everything, its sleep patterns, walking, moving, light, darkness. So my body began to transition into fat burning mode within the first 24 hours. And when I say I was burning fat, I want to be clear. I was burning stored body fat, visceral fat. Visceral fat, my visceral fat was around my organs, and I still have some. And it was there to protect me from starvation in the event of a famine. So it noticed that my diet had changed, and it started to utilize that stored fat for energy, because there was no more dietary glucose coming in through my mouth that my body was going to run on. There are a lot of changes that do occur when you stop putting sugar in the mouth. So for me, I immediately started eating more fat and more protein, and no sugar, no glucose. So the glycogen stores that my liver stores and the sugar stores that are in the body started to burn off. Because protein should be going into my muscles. And whole animal fats, for me, are a free food other than the calories. So, let's see. Fat has really high calories. It's like 7 to 9 grams. So per gram of fat, there are either 7, 8, or 9 calories per gram of fat. That's a lot of calories. So if you're of the mindset where calories matter, then you want to watch your fat intake. There's only a certain amount of fat that's going to be appropriate for you, right? So for me, I could eat unlimited amounts of high whole fat, animal fat. And I did. For the very first 3 months, I built my tolerance to animal fat. It was difficult at first because, I wasn't used to it, okay? I mean, I was used to junk fat, seed oils, fried seed oil, chicken, I was really into like donuts and cakes and pie, things that I was not supposed to be eating. So I had that tolerance, right? I mean, truth is, I could sit down and eat a whole bag of Doritos with a whole tub of sour cream. by myself in one sitting. And when I say a bag of Doritos, I'm not talking about the child-sized bag that children take to school. Oh no. Shame be on me, I'm talking about the party size. The one that's for a whole party. That's bad. Okay, so how long does it take to actually see the results? It depends on how in tune to your body you really are. How closely you pay attention to your bowel movements. I said it. Or your urinary experiences. Because if you are paying very close attention, you will notice these changes within the first 24 hours. Differences, changes, they will occur. I've got cats. I love my cats, but they make so much noise. They're not supposed to. That's okay. Let them play. They let me live in their house, so I'm very grateful. So I apologize for background noise, okay? You're gonna, so I started to dip in a little bit of energy for the first 5 to 6 days. That's normal because I was switching from glucose energy, from dietary glucose energy to burning fat. And there are names for this, there are different names for this, but the truth is it's just becoming fat adapted. That's all it is. Your body's running on fat, it has to switch over, it has to switch fuel, right? So like if you have a generator, some generators run on 3 different kinds of fuel: propane, gasoline, and diesel. So each one, you have to do something a little bit different for it to run on that fuel. Okay, so this is no different. My body showed changes because I wasn't accustomed to my body running on fat. It was accustomed to running on sugar. So the brain has to change. The blood has to change. The organs have to adapt. Everything, including blood pressure, has to change. Everything. And that can take a little bit of a toll. I'm going to tell you something that is not yummy, but anyway, it has to do with bowel movements. So if you don't want to hear it, please skip over this part. Okay. I did not experience a proper, healthy bowel movement from the day that I started on March 22 until I think it was August. Okay. In August was the first time where I had a very interesting bowel movement where I did not have small little bowel movements or where I skipped days. I actually had one normal bowel movement, and it was in the morning, where I didn't even really feel it happening. So before this, I used to get stomach discomfort and issues with digestion because I was eating the wrong food, because I was poisoning myself with seed oils and with processed food and carbohydrates like potatoes and rice and potato salad and macaroni salad and spaghetti and all these sauces that contain sugar and chow mein. Okay, so I was poisoning myself. So of course how am I going to have normal bowel movements? It's really interesting when I first experienced that first really good one, I was like, that was really easy. I was, it was easy. And I felt good. And I felt I had evacuated my bowel system. I hadn't had that in years. Literally years. That's not an exaggeration. To feel like you've truly evacuated the bowel system. It's a great feeling. So it took a long time for me. So I attribute that to my body was trying to heal, trying to adjust, trying to figure out what to do with certain things, right? So all those seed oils that I had been consuming, all that processed preservatives, all the processed meats that have like preservatives, that have like artificial flavors, artificial colors. You think that I left my body? No. Toxins get stored in my body fat. I don't know about you, but for me, my biological system, toxins are stored in my body fat. You may want to look into this to see if toxins are stored in your body fat. It's physiology, it's biology. So I work on a farm and ranch. I am a vet, and I can tell you, I'm also a butcher. I can tell you that when people feed their livestock horrible food to fatten them up, the toxins and the pesticides are stored in the animal fat. And it doesn't go away. Let that sink in for just 1 second. So that's one of the reasons that I do not feed my animals grains, because grains are filled with toxic mold, mycotoxins, aflatoxins. These are in corn, soy, wheat, barley, oats. And these are the things that people feed their livestock to fatten them up. I don't. So I've never been a grain feeder of livestock. Proper livestock diet is important. So cows are grass-fed and grass-finished. They always have been. I've been doing this for a long time, since like 1991. Chickens are carnivorous. I've always raised carnivore chickens. I know it's a new thing all over the internet, but I've been doing it since 1991, probably before you were even born. Pigs are omnivores, but they don't have to have grain. They can have fruit. They can have vegetables. They can have really wholesome diets. Proper pig diet is important when you're raising holistic pork. A proper cattle diet is critical when you're raising holistic beef. Same with goats and sheep and chickens and turkeys. The eggs of the chicken, the poultry of the chicken, the poultry of the duck. If people are feeding them corn or soy or wheat or barley or oats or flax seeds, these are not part of a proper livestock diet of any livestock. Okay, so again, toxins from my diet and my environment. Look, the environmental toxins I can't control. I can control to a very small degree, right? But I cannot. I don't have 100% control. I don't have 100% control over cloud seeding, for an example. Chemtrails, there's another example. So toxins settle in the fat, and they're stored there. And eventually, I believe that they will start to take their toll. Okay. Same with animals. So I raise chicken. Like today, I'm going to be cooking up one of my chickens. This is a chicken that I raised, free range. Never had a lick of grain. I even paper wrap them so that they're not touching plastic, even though this plastic is BPA free. I don't want it touching my chicken. So I do use like either unbleached butcher paper, or I use the glassine or glassine butcher paper, or I use parchment papers. This is a butcher paper. This is a white butcher paper because I ran out of my regulars. Today I'm also having my ground beef. Okay, and this comes in a chub because when I took my cow in, I butchered the cow, and then I delivered it to a butcher shop here close by, like an hour away. And I said, please turn this whole cow into ground beef. Debone the whole thing and turn it all into 100% premium ground beef. And I want all the bones cut up. Put them in bags, BPA-free bags. I want the bones because I'm going to be making stock and soup and broth. So, I do make my own stuff. So I try to cook. I cook a lot. That was another thing I had to get used to. So you start to see your body will experience the results within the first 24 hours, and it will continue to experience results over time. But you personally may not recognize some of these results until 3 months, 4, 5, 6, 7 months down the road. I'm still experiencing improvements where I'm noticing dramatic improvements. And it's been over 7 months, pushing 8 months. So there is no set time. I think that the message here is that you need to stick to it. So one of the biggest reasons that diets don't work is because they're hard to stick to. Diets are really tough. I tried a few. Okay, I didn't give them I'm not going to sit here and say that I tried a few wholeheartedly and 100%. I did not. I tried a few of these diets, including keto, which I tried for 6 months. That did not work for me because I fell into the trap, give me an inch and I will take a mile. I really wanted to make the muffins, the breads, the tortillas, the keto pancakes, the keto bread loaves, the keto waffles, the keto this and that, and cheesecakes. And what is that? None of it tasted good. That's the truth. None of it tasted any good. It was disgusting. Nothing tastes as sweet or as good, and nothing is as satisfying as real sugar. Period. End of story. There is no baked goods that are made with flour, wheat flour, that you can substitute to taste that good. Rice flour, disgusting. Almond flour, forget it. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? Let's just not kid ourselves at all. If I want cheesecake, I will go to a place that makes the best cheesecake, and I will enjoy a real piece of cheesecake. granted, I'm not going to do that every month. I'm not going to do it every 3 months or every week, but I am going to do it when I want to do it. If I want pasta, I want the real thing. And I'm going to go somewhere where it's gourmet and it's delicious and it's amazing. I'm not going to make fake pasta. I don't want to waste my time. So, you might want to and it might work for you, but it does not work for me. I don't have the time, the energy to deal with these kinds of things. It just doesn't work for me. Just like some people wear $50 mascara. Other people wear dollar store mascara. You have to do what works for you. I have to do what works for me. No judgment at all. Do what works. Stick to something you can stick to that benefits your health, your well-being, and your longevity, and your happiness. And this is all that matters. I'm not here preaching that you should do what I do by any means whatsoever, because it may not work for you. Just like what you're doing may not work for me. So I'm very, very fortunate because I can consume dairy products. And I prefer raw dairy, and I also prefer A2, which comes from goats, right? So, I started to see results, even though I was still drinking raw dairy and making like cottage cheese from raw dairy. So I started to see results within the first 3 months. I started to see a lot of results, but then things started to happen in the 4th month, the 5th month, the 6th month, even this month, I was surprised. So you have to let it take time, because nothing is going to work overnight. These are lies. There isn't one thing you can do to burn visceral fat or to get your health back overnight. And I'm so sorry. There isn't. It takes time. Your body has to adjust. Your bones, they have to get stronger. Your blood pressure, it has to balance. The visceral fat has to find somewhere to go in the form of energy expenditure. Muscle has to be gained. And this takes time, my friend. That's the brutal honesty. I don't have magic answers here. So how long does it take? As long as it needs to. That means it could take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because your body has to do things for itself in the manner it needs to keep you alive and to keep you healthy. Your body is very intelligent. It wants to preserve muscle. It wants to build bone density. It wants to burn body fat, visceral fat. It wants you to have good eyesight. It wants you to have the ability to breathe properly and move so that you can hunt for food. Support your body in every way that it needs to be supported so that it can serve you and your needs. This is a lesson that I have learned just in the past 7.5 months. You have to support your body in order for it to serve you. Just like my clothes, my shirt has to serve me and my needs. It's only going to last as long as it's going to last. And then it will be composted. So, same with cells in the body. They only last as long as they last, and then they get recycled. into new proteins. Hopefully, into new proteins. Support your body, and you'll start to noticeably see differences quickly. So you'll notice differences. Train yourself to look for the answers to this question, because this is, like I said, a very loaded question. Train yourself to pay attention to how you feel. How much energy do you have? Your bathroom experiences. Train yourself to recognize, are you hungry or are you having a craving? Are you dehydrated? Do you need salt water? Do you need potassium chloride, sodium chloride? Do you feel better after having a little bit of salty water? Or are you not really hungry? When you drive by a grocery store and you smell the scents that they're flushing out of their vents on purpose to stimulate your brain into thinking you're hungry. Excuse me. Train yourself. So, thank you for joining me in Polly's podcast today. And until next time, be happy and be healthy.